Okay, let's talk about something really cool. An AI that does your research while you're sleeping. Today, we're diving into a fascinating open source project that's aiming to do exactly that.
You know that feeling, right? You're just staring at a research problem, totally and completely stuck. Now imagine this. You go to sleep and when you wake up, boom, your paper's been scored, all its weaknesses have been identified, new experiments have already been run, and the whole narrative has been rewritten and improved. I mean, that sounds like the total dream, doesn't it?
Well, it's not a dream. It's the reality a new open source project called ARIS is trying to build. And yeah, the name is perfect. Auto Research in Sleep. It's this autonomous system that's designed to take on the entire machine learning workflow from start to finish. Their tagline really says it all. Let Claude Code do research while you sleep. The whole point is to get AI agents like Anthropic's Claude Code to just grind away through the night, turning all that downtime into super productive research time. It's a seriously compelling idea.
And I think what makes ARIS so powerful is its philosophy. This isn't some huge, clunky platform that you're locked into. Nope, it's a methodology, and it's built on something super simple. Plain, readable Markdown files. What does that mean for you? Well, it means there's no complex framework to learn, no database you have to maintain. You can just adapt it to whatever AI or tech stack you're already using. It's radically lightweight.
Okay, so this brings up a really important question. You might be thinking, wait a minute, if you have these super smart models like Claude or GPT, why not just have one model review its own work? Why make it complicated and use two? And that, right there, is where the real genius of ARIS comes into play.
So check out this comparison, because it really breaks it down. When a single model reviews its own stuff, it's kind of like an echo chamber. It has its own blind spots, its own patterns it can't see past. They call it a stochastic bandit, which is basically like it's just pulling a slot machine lever, hoping for a good result, but it can easily get stuck on something that only seems good. But when you do a cross-model review, it's totally different. It's adversarial. They call this an adversarial bandit. You've got one model doing the work and a completely different model whose only job is to poke holes in it, to find all the weaknesses the first one missed. That pressure, that adversarial setup, makes the whole system way harder to fool and leads to much, much stronger science.
And this idea is right at the heart of the whole system. There's this principle, the executor must never judge its own integrity. And that's exactly it. If you want real rigor, you can't have the one doing the work also be the one judging the work. That's just asking for trouble. You absolutely need that outside critical eye.
So here's how it works in practice. The roles are designed to complement each other perfectly. You've got your executor, something fast and fluid like Claude Code, pumping out the work. And then you have the reviewer, something slower, more deliberate, more rigorous, like a top-tier GPT model. The formula is simple, but it's brilliant. You take speed, you multiply it by rigor, and what you get is just better science.
Okay, so what can ARIS actually do? Well, pretty much the whole shebang. It's designed to handle the entire research lifecycle. We're talking idea discovery, refining your methods, then it does the real heavy lifting, experimentation. After that, it can draft the paper, help you write those tricky rebuttals to reviewers, and can even put together a presentation for you after the paper gets accepted. It's a true end-to-end research partner.
All right, so the theory sounds great, but talk is cheap, right? Let's see what this thing looks like in action. The project docs actually show a real-world overnight run where they just handed ARIS a paper and said, make this better. And honestly, the results are pretty staggering.
Get this. In just one night, the system didn't just, read the paper. It autonomously designed, deployed, and ran more than 20 GPU experiments. It was actively testing hypotheses and validating claims that the AI reviewer brought up, all on its own.
And here's the proof in the pudding. Look at this table showing the actual score progression. The paper starts out at a 5 out of 10. That's a borderline reject for sure. Okay, after one round, it adds some standard metrics, gets it up to a 6.5. Not bad. But this is where it gets wild. In rounds 2 and 3, the system realizes a key claim can't be reproduced, and another one gets killed by a bigger study. This forces a total pivot on the paper's main story. So by the time we get to round 4, the evidence is much stronger, and boom, it's at a 7.5. Submission ready.
And I really want to stress this. We're not just talking about fixing some typos or grammar here. This is about deep, fundamental scientific rigor. The system basically acted like a really tough, really skeptical peer reviewer. It just killed claims that didn't hold up and forced the paper to become stronger, more robust, and frankly more honest.
But here's the real kicker, the thing that's truly powerful. ARIS isn't just a static tool. It's actually designed to learn and get smarter over time, with every single project it works on.
So how does it do that? Well, the first part is something called a research wiki. Think of it as its long-term memory. It's this persistent knowledge base where ARIS saves everything it learns. Papers it's read, ideas it's tested, and maybe most importantly, experiments that failed. You know, a researcher who knows what doesn't work is often the most effective one, and this wiki gives ARIS exactly that.
Okay, and the second way it learns is through something called meta-optimize. This is just wild. It's a workflow where ARIS literally analyzes its own usage logs to get better at its job. It looks for patterns, like which tools keep failing or what settings humans are always changing. And then, based on that data, it actually suggests improvements to its own skills and prompts. It's self-improvement for AI.
So when you put those two things together, the Research Wiki, which learns about the topic, and Meta-Optimize, which learns about its own process, you get this incredible spiral of learning. The whole system just keeps getting smarter, more efficient, and more effective with every single project.
So let's wrap this up with the key takeaways. First, ARIS gives you autonomous research from idea all the way to paper. Second, that cross-model review using two different AIs is the secret sauce for avoiding blind spots and making the science more rigorous. Third, it's a super lightweight and flexible methodology. It's all Markdown, not some locked-in platform. And finally, and maybe most importantly, it's a learning system. The Research Wiki and Meta-Optimize mean it's constantly compounding knowledge and getting better.
All of this, of course, leaves us with a pretty massive question. If AI can autonomously discover things, validate them, and then write up the science, what does that mean for the human researcher? What's our new role? Are we going to be the high-level strategists, the curators of curiosity, or something we haven't even thought of yet? It's a huge question to think about as we head into this wild new era of discovery.